Tonight on CTV News at 6. It took them less than 6 hours. Jurors found a man in North Bay guilty of second-degree murder. They came from all over Canada.
I've been on strike twice at the University of Manitoba in 2016 and in 2021.
More support for striking faculty at the Laurentian University in Sudbury. And the project is moving forward.
This part of Northern Ontario is anchored by Northern College. It's very important that we attract students.
A new sports complex in Timmins is getting provincial funding.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Rima and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you're with us on this Friday. In Cobalt, OPP have arrested 3 people and seized $100,000 in drugs. Monday, police executed a search warrant at a home on Nickel Street as part of an ongoing investigation. Police found fentanyl, cocaine, and other illegal drugs along with cash and trafficking materials. A 69-year-old man and 2 31-year-old women have each been charged with 7 counts of trafficking. North Bay police have a 57-year-old man in custody after an altercation involving a firearm Tuesday. Police say the man invited someone known to him into his home on McIntyre Street and flashed a gun. The victim then fled. When police searched the man's home yesterday, they seized 4 firearms, and that man is facing gun charges. A woman is in hospital after being struck by a vehicle last night in Sudbury. Police believe the driver was traveling toward Regent Street on Algonquin Road. A 59-year-old woman was struck by a black SUV while crossing the road. The driver stopped, called 911, and provided aid to the pedestrian. The woman is in critical condition. A tragedy in Northern Ontario has sparked a provincial movement. Next week, Sudbury City Council will vote on a motion that, if passed, would formally call on the province to mandate water safety education in schools. CTV's Amanda Hicks has more.
Last summer in the town of Dryden, a single moment changed a family forever. 12-year-old Jocelyn Grant accidentally fell into the Wabigoon River. Her 15-year-old brother, Caden, jumped in to save her. Tragically, neither survived. The pair were the only grandchildren of Michael Williams and Evelyn Page.
It's hard. There are pictures in a small room that I have set up for just memories and stuff.
Here's a couple of young kids that had their whole life ahead of them, and it got snuffed out in, within a few minutes, and again, it was preventable.
Neither child was a strong swimmer. Since that day, Williams has been advocating for mandated water safety training in elementary schools. The goal isn't necessarily to put every child in a pool, but to integrate water literacy into the classroom curriculum, teaching kids how to identify risks before they even reach the water's edge. According to the Life Saving Society, 63 children drowned in Ontario between 2007 and 2023. Officials say most of these deaths were preventable.
What we see most often with children in this age group is that they are either unable to swim, maybe they haven't had access to formal swimming lessons or our Swim to Survive program, things like that.
There's a push for a province-wide standard right here in Sudbury. Next week, City Council will vote on a motion calling on the province to implement mandatory water safety training in all Ontario elementary schools. The councillor backing the motion says these skills aren't just extracurricular, they're essential.
Early in my career as a paramedic, I attended a call at a lake where a young person had drowned, and I experienced the impact when the family arrived, and it's not something I'd want to see happen to anyone. In this situation, as a municipality that has over 300 lakes within our geography, I felt a sense of responsibility to bring this resolution forward.
Municipalities like Dryden, Niagara Falls, and St. Catharines have already passed similar motions. Williams hopes that if the province gets on board, it can prevent another family from feeling this pain.
You can't go back and change what's already done. You can only use the experience, the horrible experience, to try to make sure that it happens a whole lot less.
Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
This is day 5 of strike action by the Laurentian University Faculty Association. Today, members are joined by students, Faculty Association members from universities across the country, as well as local unions. That story from CTV's Lindsay Alick.
Solidarity. From Halifax to Manitoba, members of faculty associations from across the country attended this rally at Laurentian to show their solidarity.
I've been on strike twice at the University of Manitoba in 2016 and in 2021, and the kind of support that comes from unions from far away, the local ones, it really is so heartwarming, and it just reinstates to your core that those on strike, all they want to be doing is teaching students, but conditions have just gotten so poor that they need to be out here, and they've got the entire labor movement behind them.
Solidarity forever!
Members of local CUPE, OPSU, Unifor, and Steelworkers unions were also in attendance.
There was a sign that says you can tell it's important if we're out here minus 20, and it's actually colder than that today. Everyone here is freezing cold, but we're showing up to stand together because we all believe in a stronger university.
We're receiving a lot of donation, an amazing amount from faculty association across the country. We are so grateful to them, and we are also supported by the CAUT Defense Fund, who is helping with the strike pay for as long as it will take.
Colin says LUFA is ready to go back to the table the minute the employer signals interest. Meantime, in a statement issued by the university this afternoon, officials say the university stands ready to return to the bargaining table to negotiate in good faith an agreement that is fair to LUFA members and also ensures Laurentian University is strong for the future. We urge LUFA leadership to do the same. The statement also says that the university presented its strongest possible offer. There are approximately 500 members currently on strike, with 6,000 to 7,000 students affected. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Shifting gears now to the weather, and it's freezing out there, bitterly cold temperatures. When are we going to get some relief? With that answer, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
You asked and I delivered, Tony. By about midday tomorrow, once we get rid of that morning wind chill tomorrow morning right across Northeastern Ontario, the wind chills and the conditions should subside. It should be a lot better. Our systems map right now, no major precipitation affecting the Northeast, and those temperatures, the wind chill will die down. Of course, that actually started in your home province, Tony, Saskatchewan. It moved on over to Manitoba, then Northeastern Ontario. So again, can we blame Saskatchewan for this? Everyone got a piece of the action there. Tony, our current temperatures coming up just a couple of minutes away.
Thanks for that, Rick. The Elliott Lake Rotary Club is hosting the 70th annual Can-Am Bonspiel with the help of 2 Sudbury Rotary Clubs. The 3-day event is being held at the Northern Credit Union Community Centre in Sudbury. It's bringing 16 teams from the U.S. and Ontario together for sport, fellowship, and celebration. The Bonspiel will support a charity in keeping with the Rotary motto, service above self.
It will support a charity at our banquet this evening, and that charity is going to be Easter Seals, and that was chosen by the Sudbury clubs in our way of saying thank you to them for all the help that they've been to sponsoring and putting on this program for us.
We have 16 teams competing here from as far away as Rice Lake, Wisconsin. We've got teams from all over Ontario. We've got 3 Sudbury teams, our team from Elliott Lake. We've got a couple of teams from Guelph and London. It's a great opportunity for everybody to come together.
And the winning team from the Sudbury Bonspiel will move on to the Rotary World event in North Carolina in 2028. Verdict reached. Still to come on CTV News at 6. Jurors in North Bay find a man guilty of second-degree murder. But first, we're heading to downtown Timmins. This live webcam is courtesy of that city. It's a cold one out there, minus 27, feeling much colder with the wind chill. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Fuel your Fridays with CTV and Pure Country. Enter online for a chance to win a $100 gas gift card. Fuel your Fridays. Powered by CAA. Life isn't one size fits all. Neither is CAA.
And congratulations to Patricia Evans. You are this week's winner of Pure Country's Fuel Your Fridays. The trial of Brandon Nakaji wrapped up last night in North Bay after 5.5 hours of jury deliberations. CTV's Eric Tashner was at the courthouse for the verdict.
When the jury read aloud its guilty verdict, there were gasps of relief from the family of Tristan Ayres. Some buried their head in their hands, tears flowing from their eyes, and there were lots of hugs. All the while, Brandon Nakaji stared forward at the judge. Nakaji was convicted of stabbing Tristan Ayres in the back, severing an artery in the early hours of December 17th, 2022. The jury agreed with the Crown that he and Trevor Goulet, who previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter, teamed up and beat Ayres in an alleyway near the LCBO parking lot on Worthington Street West after looking for smokes. Goulet used a stick, and when the stick broke in two, Nakaji pulled out a knife and stabbed Ayres when he felt Goulet was weak and wasn't winning the fight. Nakaji also stabbed Ayres' legs several times after. Ayres was able to crawl over a nearby guardrail into the parking lot where the attack continued, and that's where Ayres bled to death. Nakaji's lawyer, Lori Galway, declined comment to the media. Meanwhile, Ayres' family feels a sense of relief. Issuing a brief statement to reporters, the family is relieved that justice has been served. Regardless of the circumstances, Tristan was very loved. A second-degree murder conviction comes with a sentence of life behind bars with no chance of parole for between 10 and 25 years. The jury recommended no parole for a decade, but the duration decision will be set by the judge. Sentencing is scheduled for February 13th. Reporting from the courthouse, Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
A new sports complex in Timmins got a boost in provincial funding today, but as CTV's Lydia Chubak reports, more investment is needed.
Northern College has plans to build a state-of-the-art sports dome and clubhouse at its Timmins campus.
We're looking to accommodate as many different groups as possible in there. So that's why we have a walking track. We have a 100-meter dash track at the bottom of the dome as well. We have 2 courts that can be converted into tennis, volleyball, basketball, pickleball. And we also have a full-size soccer field. We also have a full fitness area.
The Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation approves of the concept and is investing $2 million in the project.
This part of Northern Ontario is anchored by Northern College. It's very important that we attract students.
So with the decreased revenues coming into the college, with policy changes at the federal level, we saw that we needed to increase our revenues to the college, so this will be a revenue generating facility for us. It'll help our bottom line.
Dumas says anyone in the community will be able to purchase a membership to the dome. And that is one of the reasons Timmins City Council agreed last summer to give $500,000 towards the facility.
So the fact that this facility will be community-wide and available to not only students but residents means that, again, it just provides more recreational space, modern indoor recreational space. And we know that that's something that professionals are looking for. We hear it from some of the major employers.
The college is also hoping to attract more investors to support the building.
We want to have a title sponsor on the field house, as their name on the field house. So we're still looking for that. And we've approached some industries looking for that support, and we're still waiting. We're still having those conversations.
The empty parcel of land you see behind me is where the facility is supposed to be constructed. That's supposed to start in the spring and take about 12 months to complete. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
The annual Miners for Cancer tournament is back for its 30th year in Sudbury. The puck dropped yesterday at the Alan Epps Memorial Hockey Tournament and will continue until Sunday. New this year, Miners for Hockey added a mini-stick hockey tournament tomorrow to teach the next generation the act of giving.
We bring our community together. We are a mining town, and it gives us the opportunity to celebrate, have a great fun weekend, and raise money for an amazing cause. Unfortunately, none of us go untouched by cancer. All of us have been touched by cancer, and this gives all of us the chance to give back and help those families that were given that terrible diagnosis.
They help the families like you wouldn't believe. They have events at our Union Hall also. And the families that are helped and represented through this is unbelievable.
And Withers says that in 3 decades, the event has donated $1.6 million to charitable organizations in Northern Ontario. The check presentation for this year's event will take place at the TM Davies Arena in Lively at 7 o'clock this evening. With cold weather in the forecast, Environment Canada has issued an extreme cold warning for many communities in our region. Public Health Sudbury Districts says frostbite and hypothermia are the most common cold weather injuries. Frostbite occurs when the skin and underlying tissue freeze. The nose, cheeks, ears, fingers, and toes are especially susceptible areas. Hypothermia is a life-threatening condition that occurs when the body loses more heat than it can generate.
Anyone can be susceptible to cold-related injuries, so everyone should take precautions. There's things that you can do to protect yourself, so always look at the weather forecast and plan accordingly. You should wear a wind-proof outer layer, warm mittens, and a hat. Cover your face with a scarf. You should have dry footwear on, and of course you should limit the time you spend outdoors.
Extreme cold warnings are issued by Environment Canada when very cold temperatures or wind chill is expected to reach -40 degrees Celsius for at least 2 hours. The same alert is issued for North Bay and area. The Social Services Board is increasing capacity at the Northern Pines Transitional Housing Complex from 46 to 68. Volunteers with Heart and Hands are also going to encampments to offer sleeping bags, hot meals, tents, tarps, and hand warmers to those living outdoors. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
All I can really say right now is one more night of the nasty wind chills for this evening, overnight, and heading into tomorrow morning. After that, it should start to get better. By the afternoon, let's check out the forecast radar issued by Environment Canada. No appreciable precipitation coming into the northeast right now. And again, some of the temperatures, as you're about to see, are cold, but that will diminish by tomorrow. Let's have a look right now at what's happening in Moosonee, -26, -28 in Cochrane, -27 in Timmins. Of course, colder with the wind chill, -28 in Kapuskasing, some light precipitation, -27 in Chapleau, -23 in Wawa. Sault Ste. Marie, some light snow at -21. How about Parry Sound this hour, -19. Meanwhile, in North Bay, -24, some precipitation there. Temiskaming Shores, -26. Kirkland Lake, -27. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, -25, -23 in Espanola, -22 in Elliott Lake, and -20 Gore Bay. Mainly clear skies, so clear and cold this evening in most sectors in the northeast. Again, a cold night ahead, a cold morning, then it gets better. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. He was on the FBI's most wanted list. Next on CTV News at 6, former Canadian Olympian Ryan Wedding is arrested in Mexico City and is now in U.S. custody. And you have to move it. What's the best snow shovel or snowblower to buy? One of the FBI's most wanted has been apprehended in Mexico City. Former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding is accused of running a violent transnational drug ring. CTV's Kamal Karamali has more on his arrest and the crimes he stands accused of.
This is a moment more than a decade in the making. Former Canadian Olympian Ryan Wedding in handcuffs, surrounded by police, brought to U.S. soil to face a litany of charges. The 44-year-old from Thunder Bay, Ontario, arrested last night in Mexico City. A Mexican official saying today a Canadian voluntarily surrendered at the U.S. Embassy.
This is what a united front looks like.
It marks the end of a manhunt spanning an entire continent and coordination between police in 3 countries.
Here we are today, bringing him to justice for trafficking hundreds of kilos of cocaine and also for the murder of innocent civilians.
Wedding was first wanted by the RCMP in 2015. After fleeing Canada, he allegedly began building a multi-billion-dollar drug smuggling empire, trafficking tons of cocaine to the U.S. and Canada each year. Last year, finding himself on the FBI's 10 most wanted list after being accused of orchestrating the murder of a federal witness who was set to testify against him. He allegedly ordered a hit on a home in Caledon, Ontario that mistakenly resulted in the killing of an innocent family. The Bureau offering a $15 million reward for his capture, the heat ramping up in November when RCMP arrested several of his associates in Canada and Mexican authorities seized millions of dollars of his assets.
You're going to find a lot more other individuals who are going to come forward and say, listen, I'd rather give you the information. I'll tell you, I'll testify. Just don't put me in jail.
We will not comment on anyone regarding the rewards.
Few details released by officials today, with many left waiting for answers, including those who knew him.
In some ways, I can understand, the path that he took just because of the lack of funding in Canadian sport in general.
Wedding will be held in custody over the weekend, facing a list of charges related to murder and drug trafficking, with his first court appearance slated for Monday morning. Campbell, CTV News, Toronto.
Negotiators from Ukraine, Russia, and the United States are meeting in Abu Dhabi today for talks seeking an end to Russia's nearly 4-year-long war in Ukraine. The future of Ukraine's eastern Donbas region will be a key focus of the discussion. The trilateral talks come just hours after discussions between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Trump's envoys. The Kremlin says to reach a deal, Ukraine must withdraw troops from areas Russia has annexed but never fully captured. Ukraine says it's open to establishing a free trade zone under its control, but that it's unwilling to give up territory. Canada Post is offering free services for displaced residents of Concussion First Nation. People can sign up for free mail forwarding services, allowing evacuees to receive mail and other parcels while they're away from home. Residents have until February 8th to register for the service by visiting canadapost.ca. Most of the country is experiencing cold temperatures tonight and through the weekend. The frigid conditions have us all asking, when is this going to end? CTV's Scott Miller has predictions tonight on whether Canada's favorite forecaster will give us good news in just over a week.
Willie did not see his shadow. We will have an early spring.
In 10 days, an albino groundhog will be brought out onto a stage in Wiarton to conduct his annual winter weather forecast.
We are so excited. This is the 70th prediction for Wiarton Willie.
For 7 decades, Wiarton Willie has been delighting audiences with his weather prognostications. 36 times he's not seen his shadow and predicted an early spring. 25 times he's seen his shadow, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. And 9 times there's no record of what his prediction was. No matter what he says, Willie's February 2nd prediction draws thousands of people from around the world to Wiarton each and every Groundhog Day.
It's an annual tradition, and it's a homecoming for many people that have grown up in the area, and they return home with their families and they share in the celebration. So we really are excited and looking to welcome everybody back to Wiarton for Wiarton Willie Festival.
While Willie's prediction is the highlight of the Wiarton Willie Festival, dances, games, kids events, and chili cook-offs start on Friday, January 30th and run right through until the big moment at 8:07 a.m. on Monday, February 2nd.
If you haven't seen the fireworks on a crisp February morning overlooking Cold Bay, it's something that everybody has to experience at least once. And we see, thousands of visitors coming to the area in the middle of, in February.
What Willie sees and says on February 2nd is still to be determined, but with constant road closures and 15 snow days for students in Grey Bruce so far this winter, the consensus in the Groundhog Day crowd will undoubtedly be for Willie to predict an end to winter as soon as possible.
We're looking forward to lots of community spirit in, the north winter. So it really is winter up here on the Bruce Peninsula.
I'll be covering Wiarton Willie's prediction on Groundhog Day, and we'll have all the details on the CTV London website that morning. In Wiarton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
I know you've waited all week for this forecast. It's supposed to get better by tomorrow, and it will be better by tomorrow. Weather-wise, here we go with your forecast radar just in time for the weekend. No major snow coming into the area, and that's a good sign because we can use a bit of a break, but still, Cold tonight, overnight into tomorrow. Should change by about noon. Take a look at the overnight conditions. Minus 33 in Sudbury. Sault Ste. Marie minus 28. Timmins minus 34. Minus 33 Temiskaming Shores and North Bay minus 32. Of course, the wind chill will be in effect. Also some precipitation in Sault Ste. Marie. Moosonee minus 31, minus 33 Caphurst, minus 34 in Wawa, Gore Bay minus 28, and Parry Sound at minus 28. 7-day forecast, Sudbury Nickel Belt, wake up wind chill, minus 39 tomorrow, sunshine galore. Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, chance of flurries. And Tuesday, chance of flurries, minus 14 and minus 15. Wednesday, Thursday, here we go. Some sun and cloud both days. Temperatures nice, minus 16 and minus 15. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, wake up wind chill, minus 37 for tomorrow. Chance of flurries again on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But those temperatures are livable, minus 12 degrees, minus 13, so not too bad. Even your evening temperatures are bearable, so nothing drastic in the Sault and Algoma over the course of the next 7 days. How about Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing? Wind chill tomorrow morning. I don't like this. Minus 44 with the sunshine. Sun and cloud Sunday, Monday sun and cloud, Tuesday chance of flurries minus 17, Wednesday sun and cloud minus 20, and some cloud cover Thursday at minus 17. Normally you should really be sitting at minus 12 degrees. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, wind chill tomorrow morning minus 36. Sun and cloud Sunday and Monday, Tuesday chance of flurries, Wednesday, Thursday again. Chance of flurries, and those temperatures, well, they're better than what we've got going right now. Minus 15, minus 16, even minus 18. Normally, you should be sitting at around minus 10 for this time of the year, at least according to Environment Canada. Now, North Bay, West Nipissing. Wind chill tomorrow morning, minus 38. It'll be cold. Sunday, some cloud cover, minus 14. Chance of flurries on Monday, minus 15. Better yet, you've got the chance of snow on Tuesday, minus 13. So that low pressure system moving in for a couple of days. Then we get back to sun and cloud Wednesday and Thursday, minus 17 and minus 16. Normally, you should be sitting at around minus 8. An interesting look at what's happening at what's going on in Northeastern Ontario, the transition from the very cold to at least the livable cold over the course of the next 7 days. Let's take a look at our pick of the day. Love this shot of the pileated woodpecker. You don't get too many close shots of the woodpecker, but Kelly was fortunate enough to get this shot in South Porcupine. I like that camera work there, Kelly. Great shot of the woodpecker, and of course, they're very hungry at this time of the year. My wife keeps on going through a lot of suet at the residence. So again, we'll have more news coming up right after the break.
Tonight, retracing a young Canadian woman's final hours.
If Kiera was running to try to get away from someone, she almost made it.
We travel to Mexico searching for answers in the unsolved killing.
They're trying to say that it was cartel.
One theory leads us to the Sinaloa cartel.
The cartel have the control of everything.
Tonight on CTV News and ctvnews.ca.
It's shaping up to be a frosty weekend, and some parts of the province will have more snow to shovel. CTV's Pat Foran takes a look at some of the best options for snow removal equipment.
Following a snowstorm, if you own a snowblower, you'll be the envy of the neighborhood, but they're a big investment, so you want to make the right choice. That's why before the first snowflakes fall, Consumer Reports tests them with sawdust.
We use wet sawdust to test snow blowers because it has the consistency of snow.
Testers look at how fast they'll remove the snow, how far it throws the snow, and how each snowblower handles the dreaded plow pile at the end of your driveway.
Snowblowers are very serious investments, especially if you're buying a 2-stage or 3-stage model. In general, they only make sense if you have 3 or more serious snowfalls a year and you don't want to be beholden to a plow company.
2-stage snowblowers are ideal for bigger jobs and will typically clear snow faster and throw it farther than single-stage blowers. They're also better on hills and gravel driveways. The latest tests find gasoline-powered snowblowers continue to outperform electric and battery-powered models. However, battery-powered snowblowers have improved.
Battery-powered snowblowers are finally starting to catch up to gas models.
There is an affordable tool that can help you avoid shoveling that doesn't cost a fortune. This year, researchers also tested battery and corded electric power shovels.
Power shovel sort of looks like a light-duty snowblower, and it's really a hybrid between a snowblower and a traditional shovel. They're designed to go places where a snowblower would be overkill, like a short walkway or an elevated deck.
This $300 battery-powered Greenworks was the best of the bunch, but keep in mind these power shovels are heavier than a regular shovel, still require some muscle, and are only truly effective for 15 centimeters of snow or less.
If you're only going to buy one type of shovel, this type is the one to get. It works for a variety of conditions. It's wide, so you can lift up a lot of snow, and it even has a steel lip here for getting through compacted snow or light ice.
Another useful tool, getting help from everyone in your household and making clearing the snow a family affair. Pat Foran, CTV News.
The extreme cold and winter storms can wreak havoc on your home. The Insurance Bureau of Canada today sharing tips for homeowners. Some of the recommendations include checking the attic for frost accumulation. Frost in an attic space is a sign of poor ventilation and can cause major problems long term. Also check eaves troughs and roofs for ice damming and icicles, and make sure you check the trees on your property. Heavy winds or snow can damage trees, which could cause damage to your house. The weather can be expensive, and not just because of damage. Necessities like heat and power have rising costs. CTV's Adrian Gobriel crunches the numbers.
An Arctic air mass is siphoning the spirit of some Canadians.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I stay home most of the time.
Though staying home these days is far from a free ride, with natural gas prices on the rise.
A gas spike right now is because it's cold right through Canada and the United States. So the gas demand is up, and demand goes up, prices go up.
Western Canada is a net exporter of natural gas. Utilities heating homes in Eastern Canada import the bulk of their natural gas from the United States, where the cost is now soaring.
We've seen some prices in the U.S. Midwest spike to over $70 per MMBTU. I mean, these are massive prices, but they're cold weather related.
From forest fires to a historic deep freeze, Canada's climate is affecting the economy, with Canadian households bearing the brunt of the costs. The Canadian Climate Institute has estimated that by 2050, extreme weather events could cost the country between $78 and $101 billion per year in losses, depending on future greenhouse gas emissions.
Whether it's heat causing wildfires or extreme cold freezing your pipes. I'll have to leave a tap dripping to make sure my pipes don't freeze, because if they do, that's a huge expense.
In parts of Manitoba, schools have been shuttered today, with temperatures plunging to dangerous depths.
Manitobans are tough. If it's too cold to go to school in Manitoba, it's cold.
As a deep freeze keeps its frosty grip on both sides of the border, many Canadians can expect the cost to heat their homes to remain elevated.
One alternative that could save you some money is a heat pump that both cools and heats your home on a budget, though it does come with an upfront cost. Any way you slice it, staying warm is the priority tonight and through the weekend. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The winter session of the Canada Strong Pass wrapped up last week, and Via Rail today released the continued success of the program. The rail company says it had more than 24,000 bookings from December 15th to January 15th, adding Canadians saved almost $2 million on fares. Science North joined the Winter Canada Strong Pass and saw more than 2,000 visitors leveraging the pass at both Sudbury attractions. Science North also announcing some new faces today on its board of trustees. Jeff Smith will take on board chair duties. Smith previously chaired Cambrian College's Board of Governors and sits on boards for the Sudbury Food Bank and Nature Conservancy of Canada's regional Ontario boards. And Ray Mantha has been named vice chair. Mantha has been a board trustee at Science North since 2020 and has also served at the assistant deputy minister level at the Ministry of Northern Development and Mines and the Ministry of Transportation. It's high intensity still ahead on CTV News at 6. Our Hockey This Week story takes us to North Bay. Players with the Trappers team close out practices with what's called the zipper.
Hockey This Week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company.
A high-intensity skating drill called the zipper to work on speed and precision
wraps up practice for the North Bay Trappers U18 AAA team.
Been rolling. Everything's been buzzing. Boys have been just like all glued, pretty gelled together.
Having returning players on the ice building chemistry mixed with new blood is paying dividends. The Trappers sit atop the Great North U18 AAA League, winning 21 out of 22 games. Their only defeat at the hands of Sault Ste. Marie, after a few bounces didn't go their way.
We keep pushing forward.
We activate the D here.
Head coach Josh Dale has the team running like a well-oiled machine, building on success from last year where they only lost 3 games in regulation.
I'm really a player's coach, so I really motivate them to not only succeed here on the ice and at the rink, but also at home and in school. We're really working hard on setting them up for success for not just here in hockey, but in life.
One of those defeats still stings. It was in the semifinals against Sudbury in the Great North U18 Championship. The team also recently returned from a crushing quarterfinal loss in a Peterborough tournament. The players say they are using those games as lessons and as motivation to strive for better.
It's good to experience lose and then push forward to this year. All the experiences of like the bad penalties and stuff, we'll learn from that.
That's our goal, is no matter how good they are or if they're not quite up to our standard, we're just playing our game and focusing on what we can do.
There's a shot at a nice save there.
A big part of the Trappers' success has been goaltending. Carson Ruddy and Logan Coates have been making crucial saves at key points when called upon.
We're a lot stronger together, better group as more as a family. I think everyone on the team has each other's backs, and I think that really supports us. Couldn't be done without my team and my defense.
And as the season nears that crucial final stretch, the players say they're not taking their feet off the gas. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done to ensure the trophy is theirs.
When playoffs come, we're going to be ready to go, and we're going to win.
For Hockey This Week, Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Thanks for that, Eric. Last night, the North Bay Battalion were the only Northern OHL club in action, and action is how to describe this one. Liram Amadovsky and Caden Petrie get the troops on the board, and they would be powerhouse players in this one. Amadovsky would net 2 more goals, while Petrie would tally 2 more assists on the night. The game goes to overtime, but North Bay pulls this one out 5-4 over the Brantford Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs will be looking for redemption tonight as they take on the Sudbury Wolves at 7:05 at the Sudbury Community Arena. Last night, the Sudbury Cubs buried their Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Cubs forward Owen King had a 5-point night. Mason Walker, also a playmaker, with 4 assists in the Cubs' 10-2 victory. Tonight, the Cubs travel to Powassan to take on the Voodoos at 7 o'clock. Elsewhere in the league, the Sioux Eagles land in Espanola for a 7:30 tilt with the Paper Kings. The Sioux Thunderbirds will face off against the Timmins Rock at the MAC, and the French River Rapids are on the road. They will face the Iroquois Falls Storm tonight. Both those games are 7:30 starts. Researchers are learning that the effects of even one concussion can have repercussions decades down the line. CTV's Pauline Chan looks at 2 of the newest studies.
Researcher Donald Redelmeyer says for every person that dies in a motor vehicle accident, 6 others are left with permanent injuries. And while some of the more common factors considered in long-term disabilities include the severity of injuries, length of hospital stay, and concurrent mental illnesses, another factor came up.
The big surprising finding was that a past history of concussions was associated with a 15% further increase in the risk of long-term disability. And these might have been concussions that occurred years and years before the actual motor vehicle crash.
Redelmeyer says the message goes beyond trying to avoid getting into a car crash.
If you have had 1 or more past concussions, drive safely, especially late at night, which we found were associated with the highest risks of long-term disability. Suggesting that once you've had a concussion, you may not be exactly the same, even though you feel the same, you just don't have that same reserve capacity to recover from the next bad thing that comes along.
Another study looking at the long-term impact of concussion is out of the University Health Network.
Even just that repetitive head impact where people don't even realize that they're
having a concussion could be setting you up for delayed neurodegeneration decades later.
The finding is especially significant for parents and childhood sports instructors. Dr. Carmela Tartaglia cites sports like boxing, hockey, football, rugby, and soccer, especially for girls, who she says are especially vulnerable to concussions. The message from Tartaglia's study?
Even one concussion can put you at risk of dementia. And so, of course, this idea that you have to protect your brain throughout all of your life.
She hopes attitudes, especially in sports, which are most likely to be a child's first exposure to concussions, will continue to evolve. For example, setting age limits to begin heading the ball in soccer. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A former Maritime hockey player dealing with life after multiple concussions suggested adding a zero-alcohol beer to the menu of his favorite brewery. CTV's Josh Smith has more.
3 years ago, Dieppe native Alex Noel partnered with a local brewer to produce a non-alcoholic craft beer. For the former hockey player, the ambition to cut back on alcohol wasn't a trend. It was a health decision.
I've had 8 concussions. 7 of the 8 were hockey related. I was dealing with a lot of post-concussion syndrome issues, and a lot of it was just, pounding migraines for no particular reason. And alcohol was a big contributor to those migraines.
But drinking beer was never just about the effect.
The social aspect of drinking is kind of what I preferred the most. It wasn't necessarily about the effects, but more about being with friends.
Noel brought forward a unique approach. Instead of brewing beer without alcohol, the beer is fully brewed. Then the alcohol is extracted.
I was actually shifting to research around non-alc production and try to achieve and really get that quality standard that craft beer drinkers expect.
Noel says studying this concept in university helped shape the idea, but the brew house here did not anticipate how the product would take off.
It's crazy to us in the sense that we launched officially April of 2025. So to have a product show up and in 8 months become 14% of our business is pleasantly surprising. And
co-owner Brian Harriman says the goal of keeping the taste without alcohol is paying off.
To our knowledge, we're the only craft brewery in Canada that has this technology. It tastes just like the originals, and I've had the good fun to trick my friends by serving them non-alcs and later on asking how they like them, and they say, oh, these are great.
The brewery says the demand isn't limited to January.
But our biggest month of the year for sales was July. So what it tells me is in those summer occasions, those backyard barbecues on the golf course, whatever it is, people are choosing to mix in non-alc with their other regular choices.
And offering options without taking away flavor. Josh Smith, CTV News, Dieppe.
By the power of Grayskull, here comes David Daniel with tonight's Hollywood Report.
Harry Styles has announced just one U.S. city for his Together Together tour, New York. Fortunately for fans, he'll be there a while. Styles has scheduled 30 shows at Madison Square Garden from late August through the end of October. The tour starts in May in Amsterdam and also hits London, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Sydney, and Melbourne. It's in support of his upcoming album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, due out March 6th.
What am I supposed to do? Take the sword. You protect them.
Here's some nostalgia for Gen Xers, the first teaser trailer for Masters of the Universe. Nicholas Galitzine plays Prince Adam of Eternia, a.k.a. He-Man, with Jared Leto as Skeletor. The live-action adventure, based on the 80s toy line and animated TV series, is due in theaters June 5th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Canadian retail sales were up 1.3% in November from the previous month. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez with a breakdown of the numbers.
Retail sales came in over $70 billion in November, with Canadians spending more for food and drinks. The end of a labor disruption in BC helped push sales of beer, wine, and liquor up over 14% month over month. Canadians also spent more on health and personal care products. Retail sales were up across 7 provinces, with Alberta leading in dollar amount of sales. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar up to 73.01. West Texas Intermediate up $1.71 to 61.07. Western Canadian Select is down $1.55 to 43.88. And the TSX gained 142 points for a new record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $51.96, closing the day at $49.8853 U.S. An ounce. Silver up $7.12 to end the day at $103.30. Copper up a penny to $5.78, and nickel up 34 cents, ending the day at $8.42 U.S. a pound. And before we go, I have the honor of telling you about Saturday's weather, but you may not want to see this forecast. It's going to be a cold one in through Sudbury, minus 18 degrees with the wind chill, minus 39, minus 44 with the wind chill in Timmins. When you wake up tomorrow, wind chill and 37 for Sault Ste. Marie as we head on over to North Bay. It's going to be a cold one, minus 38, Parry Sound, minus 33 with the wind chill, and Temiskaming Shores, minus 36. And finally, a television blooper from Ottawa may bring you some joy on this cold January day, and it comes from a person who once worked here in the north.
Perfect, so we're going to go down into a squat. Oh my God, no.
And they literally Will Aiello of CTV's Your Morning in Ottawa discovered why you don't wear a suit while doing squats. He ripped his pants during a segment on the show this morning. Luckily, his co-host was close by to cover him up. And folks, thanks for watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Rima. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.